It's been more than 72 hours since the ace broadcaster Kwejasa Bafwa Champon Kaba passed on, but his death is still ringing in the minds and hearts of many. The impact and legacy of Kaba has been immortalized by the hundreds who have thronged the premises of Multimedia Group to sign his book of condolence and his Tesano home to commiserate with the family. The NDC delegation, led by party chairman Kofi Potofe, paid their respect to the late broadcaster this morning. General Secretary of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, told JoyNews how he is struggling to control his emotions.
How do you know Kaba?
Well, I know him to be a first-class radio presenter who plays the devil's advocates anytime he's interviewing you. And I enjoyed his shows because I like working under pressure. So anytime I'm on the interview with Kaba, I enjoy the interview. Later when I play back, listen. I would say that well, it's unfortunate he did not live that long. But within his short period of life, he gave voice to the voiceless Kenyans.
One of his famous sound bites has you in it where you are asking him, well, Kaba and all that. Do you still, whenever you hear that, how does it make you feel?
Well, after his death, I have tried not to be listening to that one because it keeps reminding me about the past. But I hope I'll get over it. I'll surely get over it. It has to do with the name Kaba and the allegation that I had worn my wife's coat. So when he came, he was the first to interview me about this. He said, oh, you are accusing me of wearing Kaba, but you are the Kaba itself. You understand? So that's how it all happened. But it's unfortunate it has happened. There's nothing we can do. All that we have to pray for is for the young and coming journalists to also follow the footsteps of Kaba.
That is the NDC delegation. Former colleagues, CEO of EIB, Bola Ray, and Deputy Information Minister Kojo Ponkruma, as well as other sympathizers, also paid their respect to Kaba.
I think memories, great memories, fond memories. I think that Kaba stood for excellence, no doubt about that. He went the extra mile. Kaba was the person who, although his show was in the afternoon, will come in early in the morning, gather information, interact with people. That's what I knew Kojo for. Very humble guy, brilliant by all standards, and outstanding in his field. So for me, that is a memory that I want to, have with me.
Any particular?
Even though he's gone, I think that his sense of enthusiasm, of humanity, of excellence is all that we all should, emulate and hold in high esteem. He represented a full-scale, personality, and we can only but wish him well, and of course, rest in perfect peace.
Kaba, he is indeed a professional when it comes to his work, and he ensures he delivers and delivers well. To the family, God give them or grant them the patience that they need. They should know that God knows best, even though we all understand and we all know that death is very painful. But God, in his own wisdom, knows what he's doing. And the same God is going to grant them the heart to accommodate everything that is going on, to his wife especially, and his daughter. Anytime Kaba speaks, or anytime we are engaging in an unprofessional discussion, the first thing he talks about is his daughter and his wife. May God grant her the biggest heart, because it's not easy to lose a father at this age.
People like Kaba, who bring us interviews and stories through talking to others, again also occupy a space that we cannot ignore. And in his case, we find him as a very fine journalist, somebody whose programs always try to bring balance and also entertainment, I think we will miss him, because to get people to elicit the kind of opinions that he brought to our airwaves on a daily basis, it's not going to be easy for either Joy FM or for us, the listeners, to have. I personally will miss him, because most of the time between 2 and 4 I'm on the road, and that's what I use to entertain myself when I'm driving alone. I really will miss him. I think he was a very good journalist.
Thank you very much. We will continue our conversation in area on the death, and should I say the murder of Captain Adam Maxwell Mahama. Now the latest developments in the Abreu Nipa Yachichua no do no asa beka ho. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know within.
I was on the show on Wednesday. On Thursday, we brought the Honorable Kweku Kwarteng. On Friday, we were hoping to continue the budget advocacy, but he told me he wasn't well. On Saturday morning, then we started hearing some news that wasn't too exciting. So I called Samuel Yuinchi, his boss, called Ifya Pokua, as we were trying to get the information. I was traveling at the time. By the time I arrived, the news had been confirmed. Very terrible news. I've still not been able to believe it. It was just only last night and this morning that it's dawned on me that what we are hearing is really true. But my hope is that his humility and professionalism will be a lesson and a testament to many of the practitioners today, especially those who are hoping to join the media industry. It's a big blow, but hopefully if we learn from the lesson of his life, we will be the better for it.
He will be remembered for his respect for others, for his great intelligence, for objectivity, and for being a very good journalist. I used to receive private advice from him when I was dealing with certain policies. He was introduced to me by the good gentleman standing on my right side, Odisha, and we became very good friends. He used to visit me in the house. I didn't come to the office to see him. He will be sorely missed by many people in this country. He was admired by people, particularly politicians. And it's a great loss to the family, to all of us, and to the young family he's left behind. May God grant him perfect rest in his bosom.
Kaba is a friend. Kaba is somebody we work with. I've been on his program several times, countless, I cannot count. And the type of person he is, it's unfortunate that maybe I have to describe him at this sad moment, but not when he was alive. Kaba was very humble. His extent of humility is unmatched. He's respectful to all, and he was diligent in his work.
So did you come all the way from the Ashanti region?
Yes, please. Because he's dear to me. We've had very excellent interactions. We've had fruitful discussions. We've had very good programs. And there's no way I could have stayed in the Ashanti region for me to come and witness maybe the barrier or something. We are here during the 1 week. We'll be around if God permits, and during the funeral, we will all join hands and find a befitting funeral observation for Kaba.
It's a very dark week for us here at Multimedia. Also, a delegation from the New Patriotic Party, led by Acting Chairman Freddie Blay, also paid their respects to the Multimedia, came to commiserate with us here at the Multimedia group. We'll bring you those visuals much later. But away from that very sad news, members of the National Artisans and Traders Union of the TUC are calling on President Akufo-Addo to intervene in a planned eviction of their members who are occupying a swath of land at Cable and Wireless here in Accra. Hundreds of the workers demonstrated within the precincts of the commercial hub pleading for the president to intervene and stop the Ghana Post and Accra Metropolitan Assembly from carrying out their planned action of eviction and demolition of structures there. Speaking at a press conference before the demonstration, the General Secretary of the group, David Arthur, called on the president to use his high office to help develop the land into an industrial village for the informal economy workers as their share of the national cake. The national cake's one district, one factory.
The leadership and the entire membership of the Cable and Wireless branch of the union petitioned the president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the father of our nation, Ghana, to come to the union's aid by stopping the demolition exercise. The president should use his good offices to help develop the Cable and Wireless land in Bubuashi into an industrial village for the informal economic workers as our share of the national cake, one district, one factory, as to providing the informal sector workers spaces for operating our businesses. We have not heard from His Excellency till today, but Ghana Post is going ahead with its plan to carry out this demolition exercise. All are in full support of the union's request for the Cable and Wireless land to be turned into industrial village in fulfilling the government's promise of one district, one factory.
Those are some of the artisans there. Chairman of the association, Benjamin Adams, vowed they will not leave the land if they are not given a new site.
We have been here for the past 10 years now, so how can we be excited? This is a very big blow to report here. We can't be excited because look at the situation we find ourselves in Ghana here now. Now Ghana here, there's no land. We are here for the past 10-15 years now, so where do you have to move and go again? We have a new place to go again. That's why we are not being happy at all.
Okay, provide another land for you, and then they ask you to relocate to the land. Would you be willing to move?
That is what we are talking about. If the president say fine, they have a plan for this area. So now there's a place here we should go there. Why not? We can go there. They go to take up and make the place for there. Then we can report to go there. We don't have any choice.
Okay.
All what we are saying is that we need to stay here. But when the government say now here is maybe they have a proper plan for this area, so the government will go along maybe around castle or whatever. Fine, we are prepared. We go.
Okay.
We don't have any choice.
If that relocation plan does not come through, we've seen a notice that says that by 1st December you should all vacate this place. Would that happen on the 1st December?
It will not happen. We are going to resist by all means.
Okay.
It will not happen.
Okay.
We are also Ghanaians. We are also part of the national cake. We have to enjoy what a bit done to our country. We have to resist this. We are not going to agree to it.
On this land working, and it's also part of creating jobs. We have more than enough. About 14,000 people, masters and apprentices working on this land, in which we are all getting something, taking care of our children, our families and others. But hearing about this eviction truly becomes a pathetic aspect of us, getting us into a mess.
So those are obviously agitated artisans there. Earlier, speaking with my colleague there, we've been trying to get some responses from both the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and the Ministry of Communication, as well as the other organizations, but we have not been successful as yet. But then I have the National Artisans and Traders Union of TUC as representatives here in the studio. David Arthur is the General Secretary. Sir, you're welcome. Alex Yineko is the second trustee. Let's find out from you, after your agitation this morning, whether there has been any response from the organizations that you're accusing, the Ghana Post, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and we understand that the Ministry of Communication as well is involved in this. What has been the response?
Well, ever since we made our petition, we had a response from Ministry of Communication.
What did they say, please?
Well, they were advising the minister. You know, the minister wrote to Ghana Post for them to give their comments on our petition. And so they wrote back to tell the ministry about what they know about the land. In fact, it's a big document they produced. I have a copy of it here.
Can I have a look and maybe we can point it to the camera? So this is a petition to the president. This is with reference to the petition from the National Association of Traders Union of Ghana addressed to your office and copied me. And so this is coming from who? The Ministry of Education. Ministry of Communication, I beg your pardon. Ministry of Communication. So let me see. This is quite big, but this is small. But then it doesn't really have a lot of information though. The executive summary. Okay, I'll go through, but tell me what had happened. What has happened after your agitation this morning?
This morning, you know, since we submitted our petition to the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we haven't heard from him yet.
Okay.
But what is going on is that the Ghana Post came up to give last warning. They also have come there to put a notice informing the general public that from the 1st of December, there wouldn't be any entrance into the premises.
Okay.
So this, in fact, have really, touched our hearts because we haven't heard yet from the president.
Okay.
So we wanted to register to the president our dismay, and we also calling to remind him to rise up to at least that we make us to hear from him about our petition, because we said we would wish that the place be turned into an industrial village.
Okay, so now the issue is that now I have here the executive summary from the Ghana Post Limited. Was this something that was attached to this letter?
Yes.
The letter from the Ministry of Communication?
Yes.
Okay, so
they
this
brought us
is
a copy.
Okay, so this is in response. If the camera can do a little bit of a zoom, we can have a look at this. This is from the Ministry of Communication in response to the petition that was sent to the presidency. Okay, so in the executive summary, it says that following the sequence of activities and the chronicles of events indicated in the main document, Ghana Post ownership of the land is confirmed and not in dispute. So it brings me to my next question. Let me bring you in onto this. The land belongs to the Ghana Post. You know this?
We know that the lands belong to the Ghana, part is belong to the Ghana Post and part to the chiefs. And there's the chiefs who brought us to the land. So now we can't say that the whole place is for Ghana Post.
What are the chiefs saying? Now that Ghana Post wants to evict you, what are the chiefs saying?
They are in support of us. Even on today, the press conference we did, they were there.
Okay.
So they support us. Even they did press conference and said, if you want to turn the place to industrial village, the government will come and sit down with them, and they will be supporters. Everything they'll support us.
Okay. Let me bring you back in, Mr. David Arthur. They're also saying, the Ghana Post is saying that efforts made by the Ghana Post since 2007 in engaging the National Artisans and Traders Union of Ghana to vacate the land has been abused by the association. How do you respond to that?
Well, the union came into existence from August 2014. So as at that time, this union was not existing. So
as of 2007, the union was not existing. Yeah. But after 2007, has Ghana Post approached you since you became a union?
That was on the 26th of February 2015 that the AMA came to the land to put information that the workers who quit the land. We met the Ghana Post to deliberate with them. In fact, all were in vain because they were claiming that they are the owners of the land and they could not. But we were still praying that they should give us enough time because getting a land in Accra here for a number of people, over 14,000 is an...
You have over 14,000?
We have our members, master members, about 4,000, and apprentices and employees are about 14,000.
Oh, I see.
So we were pleading that they should give us enough time, because it's not easy to acquire land here to for such a people to occupy it.
But if they've been trying to reach you in 2007, which you say you weren't in, the association was not in existence then it means that they've been making efforts to reach you for a very long time now. So what more time are you asking for? How long do you need?
Now, what we are saying is very difficult to get a land. So we are saying that if there is anything for them to do, like partnership with any other company, then since we are there working, you know, we have several, artisans there. We produce many things. They should have.
So they should partner you.
Yes.
So that's what you want. Let's see if we can get any responses from the Ghana Post.
Yeah, they said they realized that we don't have the money to.
But they have a lot of information here, which is something I think they were offering the Ministry of Communication. But let me quickly get some reaction on the telephone line. Joining me on the telephone line now is Managing Director of the Ghana Post, James Kofi. Sir, thank you very much for your time. I trust that you're... Sorry?
Thank you for having me.
Right. Are you trying to remove over 14,000 people whom you could actually partner to create jobs in the system?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
But you're doing, this is not in the public interest. If they're going to, you can partner them to create jobs. Why are you not partnering them rather than evicting them?
Well, I mean, since 2007, Ghana Post has been in court 2 times to try to evict the encroachers of our property. And they've had multiple opportunities to leave. And each time they come up with one reason or another why they shouldn't be. You would agree with me that if, you know, a property is owned by a company, the company must decide the best way in which it is fit to use that space. And as a result of that, we need to evict them from the land before we would decide what we want to do with it.
So you have not decided what you want to do with it?
At the moment, we have thought about what we want to do with it, but it's not true that the land has been sold to anybody.
Okay, you have thought about what you want to do with it. What I have here, which is a response you sent to the Ministry of Communication, is you saying that the intended use, and I'm quoting, the intended use of the land is to go into partnership to develop the land on commercial lines, to raise additional income to support the turnaround vision of Ghana Post. So this is obviously something that has been thought through.
Yes, correct.
So what is it that you want to do with it, even at the initial stage?
Well, we can't share that information at this time.
Why not, sir?
It is not public information as of now.
But the public funds you, and funds your organization.
The issue is that they are encroachers on our land, and we need to evict them of our land so that we can make good use of the land.
Certainly, that sounds like the letter. But if we are to look at the spirit of what you're trying to do, which is obviously to create jobs and to help the economy, they are saying that they have a membership of over 14,000, and this is obviously something that you could work with to help the government achieve the job creation targets that it has, isn't it?
Who speaks for the 1,800 workers of Ghana Post who are trying to save a distressed company by trying to generate revenue so that we can turn around the post, which will benefit every single citizen of Ghana?
Which is what makes the question of what you want to do with the land very crucial, sir. And if you would be open with the people of Ghana and let us understand exactly what you want to do with it, then perhaps we can all come to an understanding of what's happening.
At the appropriate time, we'll talk about that.
When will be the appropriate time?
At the appropriate time, we'll speak about that.
Yes, so tell us when the appropriate time is, sir.
At the appropriate time, we'll come out and speak about that.
Certainly something you don't want to tell us. But we understand that the land has been, they are alleging that you've given out the land to a private developer. Is that true?
It's not true.
It's not true. Let me find out from you, Mr. Arthur, on what basis do you make that allegation that they've sold the land to a private developer, because he's just saying that what you're saying are lies?
Well, I could remember very well that it was mentioned at a meeting held in their offices that they told us that they are in partnership with an organization So we were even claiming that since we have been on the land for many years, they should have partnership with us. But they said at the meeting, I have the minutes there, that they are already in partnership with another organization.
They said that in a meeting that you were...
We have the minutes. Then even we said that since we were there and we are still there, then why don't... And they said there were some monies involved. So, okay, then we will pay them back for them to pay that so that we occupy the place and partner with them. But they refused.
Mr. Kofi?
Yes.
I believe you heard him.
I believe what he's talking about probably happened last year or the year before last year. Ghana Post had attempted to get into a joint venture with a developer on that property.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that didn't go through. So it is possible that that meeting was held at the time that a developer had been identified, but that didn't go through. As we speak now, we do not have a developer identified.
I can very well understand, sir, when someone encroaches on your land. But is there any way that the Ghana Post could have some sort of partnership as they are requesting? Is that a possibility? Is this something you're thinking about?
Well, if somebody wants a partnership from the owner of a property, the appropriate thing to do is to write a proposal to the owner of that property, and the owner will make an evaluation, a commercial evaluation of the property, and then also understand the social implications and make a decision. Right. The appropriate thing to do is not to go and demonstrate everywhere.
Mr. Arthur, you've heard him. It makes a lot of sense what he's saying when he says that if you want to partner me, I mean, the ideal thing to do is try to engage me, write a proposal, he's saying, bring it and let's have a conversation. Have you tried any of those options?
It took us by surprise that that decision was made at that time. So we were proposing that like we could partner with them. Now, as we are talking now, we are writing our proposal for that purpose. And if we will be allowed to present it, very soon we can do that.
Mr. Kofi, how does that sound to you?
Look, I don't want to. It's not up to me alone to decide, because there's a whole entity committee that decides this matter. What I would say is that if they have a proposal and they are really determined to help us to get economic interest out of the land, so that we can use the funds to turn around Ghana Post, we have no objection. However, they need to understand that just because they are already on the land and they are already on the land doesn't give them any preference over anyone else. We are going to do the evaluation based on a commercial assessment, and then we will make the right decision.
But it's certainly something that you would consider, the partnership they're requesting, something that you'd consider if they should use the right approach.
Well, of course, all proposals will be considered, but there's a criteria that we'll use to determine the way forward.
Interesting. But Mr. Arthur, stay on the line, sir, with me, please. Mr. Arthur, there's also another thing that they mentioned here in the executive summary. They say that the association's members have already been given enough time to relocate, spanning over 6 years. They have persistently requested for time to acquire new land to enable them relocate their operations, which is not acceptable to the Ghana Post. So 6 years they've allowed you to be there after they alerted you that they might be evicting you. It's been 6 years and over.
Well, as I said earlier, we only had the information since 26th of February 2015.
Okay. I see. Mr. Kofi, I'm going to let you go now, but at the moment, they obviously are agitating over the dates, the recent dates of eviction that you've issued them. Is this something that, is the agitation going to change anything?
Am I allowed not to comment on that?
You do the people of Ghana a lot of good if you explain things to us, sir.
I'm not sure I can comment on that, because I don't have the right answer. I don't know what the answer is. So I'll beg your pardon not to answer it.
But really, your inability to give us information as to what really the Ghana Post has decided to do with this place is quite a source of worry.
Ghana Post has decided to develop the land.
Into what?
The specifics of that is not relevant at this time.
But you know that you owe the people of Ghana an explanation.
We don't know the specifics yet.
But then
so
you
when
have
you,
thought
when you
of
ask
something.
us to give you specifics, then we are jumping the gun. What we do know is that we have decided to develop the land so that as part of our turnaround strategy, we can raise funds to turn around Ghana Post. If you look all over Ghana Post, you will see that at 365 or so buildings, they don't look to be in good shape.
But then, as a proactive organization,
ASAP.
Since you put together,
we also want to
since you started your term, since you started your term at the Ghana Post, it appears that you want to be a really proactive organization, a really proactive public funded organization. So if that is, then the assumption will be that at this point, if you have thought of developing the land, then you have a plan. So you know, you are clear in your mind exactly what you want. This is the explanation that I believe the people of Ghana could use.
We will be happy to share the information with the people of Ghana. It's just not ready to be said.
If you say so.
Because we don't know, we don't have the details. But as soon as we have the details, we'll be happy to share it with the people of Ghana. But the people of Ghana need to know that the 1,800 employees here also have families and are trying very hard to turn around a distressed organization into a model that every Ghanaian will be proud of.
If you say so. But then we're also looking at over 14,000 people with whom you could partner and serve a bigger national interest. But sir, let me just take your final words for the artisans here whose representatives are in my studio now.
Is that for me?
Yes, sir. Mr. Kofi, it's for you. You have any final words for them? Their representatives are here.
What I would say, my final word will be that, we need to be a law-abiding society. We've had, since 2007, the squatters have been given enough notice to find other alternative living arrangements, and that has not been done. The evidence is in the records, in the court records. So I will beg the people of Ghana to allow us the opportunity to develop this land so that we can turn around Ghana Post and make it a beacon of success within West Africa. Thank you.
Will the president's intervention do anything at all, to change your mind, if he does?
The president is the ultimate boss, so we will look to him for direction.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. We've been speaking to Mr. James Kofi. He's currently the head of the Ghana Post. We'll see how this goes. But the petition has been sent to the presidency. They're yet to have any response. The Ministry of Communication, of course, has been in touch and written to the Ghana Post. And Ghana Post's response is what I've been reading and trying to interrogate further. It appears that the Ghana Post is poised to go ahead with their decision of evicting them. You say you're writing a proposal at the moment to forward to them. Yeah. Are you hopeful from what Mr. James Kofi has just said? Are you hopeful that your proposal will make any difference?
Yes, we believe that.
You believe so?
Yes, because what we are doing there, we are doing a lot to help the nation's development.
Okay.
And if we are given the chance, our problem here as informal sector, spaces for our activities is very rare in this city.
Okay.
Any open space we will occupy. Then as soon as you occupy, you are evicted. So we don't have any particular place, unlike in Kumasi. We have Kumasi Swami Magazine. As I'm talking now, they are developing an industrial village, or they call it industrial city, where all these artisans will be paraded. They will have spaces to work, to improve their work. If we have this one in Accra here, we can also do.
After the minister wrote to the Ghana Post and they sent this, have you heard anything else? The minister, you petitioned the president through the Ministry of Communication.
No, we petitioned the president. Then we copied The Ministry of Communication and other ministries.
So the ministry wrote to the Ghana Post. The Ghana Post response says that there's in their response they are saying that by all means they will evict you. So what are you going to do now? What's going to be your next?
Now we have, since our petition to the president have not been answered, we have sent a reminder.
Okay.
Today.
Okay.
Reminding the president
today.
Yes, and that he should say something about our petition.
If you don't hear from the president, what are you going to do?
We believe him. He's a hearing president.
And if he doesn't hear?
He will hear.
Okay. Let me take your final words if you have.
What we are pleading with the president is you should come into our aid. And even if it cannot give us that place, it can even prepare a place for us and relocate us.
Okay. All right, you have any final words, sir?
Well, I'm saying in support of my brother, because we said it in our petition that if for any reason this place cannot be given to us, then the government should help us relocate us.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for coming. I've been in the studio with two representatives of the National Artisans and Traders Union of TUC, David Arthur. David Arthur is the General Secretary and Alex Nunaku is the second trustee. And we also had on the telephone line James Kofi, head of the Ghana Post, joining us to answer a few questions and help us interrogate the matter. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And I hope that the president hears you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I hope our plea will be heard.
Hopefully the president, and we know that they watch this program a lot, so hopefully they will hear you.